I'm wondering what you got for me. Egyptian cotton is out to be my lady only. Ask you for the time. You got the damn right.
So as usual, we only have an iPad in there, only. So here it is, the new iPad Pro 2020 11-inch, and why I will send this back to Apple, I will let you know now. I started this YouTube channel with the iPad Pro 2017, so if you follow me since then, you know that was the go-to iPad I was using, and the Apple Pencil and the note-taking stand, everything. However, the upgrade to the iPad Pro 2018 was really a big difference. It was a big jump. It was really worth the upgrade. The iPad 2017 had the A10X processor, and here we have the A12X processor, and this was a difference with the multi-core processing up to 90% performance improvement between these two devices. So only for the processor, this was already worth it to do the upgrade. Here on the new iPad Pro 2020 we have an A12Z processor in there, which is no difference. No difference, okay? So the CPU performance is exactly the same. If you look up the benchmarks between these two processors, the A12X from the iPad Pro 2018 and the A12Z from the 2020 Pro version, you won't see any difference. There's a bit improvement in the GPU capabilities of this processor, however, it is not worth mentioning. What about RAM? Okay, that's a big thing if you have performance-hungry software running on your iPad Pro, like video editing or photo editing. The more RAM you have, the better. However, there was no difference between the iPad Pro 2017 and the iPad Pro 2018 regarding RAMs. The iPad Pro 2017 had 4 GB of RAM, and the iPad Pro 2018 also had 4 GB of RAM. Except if you have the 1 TB model of the 2018, then you already have 6 GB of RAM. And the new 2020, they have, in all the different types of storage devices, they have 6 GB of RAM included. So if this is a thing to you and you really need this, this might be a reason to upgrade if you don't have the terabyte version of the 2018. However, I don't think for most users this will make a big difference if you're not doing video editing and things like this. Also, when you're doing video editing, those apps are so optimized to these iPads that they should run on all these devices. I think if you do a general simple editing on your iPad Pros, this is still enough using the 4 GB of RAM on these devices. I mean, compare it to, for example, my MacBook Pro, where I do video editing. I'm not doing video editing on the iPad Pro, I'm doing it on the MacBook Pro. I have 32 GB of RAM, so you already see the difference. So the app needs to be optimized anyway to work properly. The RAM was really the big difference between these two devices, and obviously the camera. But let's face it, how often do you use the camera on the iPad? Of course, they are now going into the AR section much more with the new LID AR or LiDAR or Lit AR or however they call it. That's a new scanner in there, which makes it better for AR experiences. However, if you look now, there's not much you can do on a daily basis with AR right now. And these things are also working with your general lenses too. The advantage is that you have an ultra-wide lens now. You have a bigger field of view, so you see much more on the screen, and you know, with the AR, I understand that's an improvement, but if you're not using a lot of AR applications, I don't think this is worth the upgrade. Storage-wise, there's an improvement, but the difference is that the base models now got 128 GB instead of 64 GB for the 2018-2017 version. I always bought the device with the lowered storage with 64 gigabytes because for me this is enough, because everything is stored in the cloud, either in iCloud or G Drive or whatever, and I never run into any problems running out of storage on my iPad devices. Especially because Apple improved these handling of photos, storing them in the iCloud. I understand totally if you need to store your photos, you're on the way and you want to connect your camera to the iPad and download your photos there, editing them, you don't have any Wi-Fi or whatever to upload them, then I understand that you need much more storage. For my use case, I don't need this much of storage. So doing the upgrade to 128 gigabytes in a base model isn't worth it either for me. Regarding connectors, it's the same connection again as like on the 2018. So we get on both devices, we have the USB-C connection, which is standard nowadays. And on the 2017, we had the Lightning connector. And we also had the headphone jack on the old 2017 version, which is no longer available on these. I don't mind, I have the AirPod Pros, so that's not an issue anymore. And you would get an USB-C adapter as well for the USB-C, so that's not a problem as well. So again, the difference here is really a big thing between 2017 and 2018. For example, the Face ID. You have Face ID on both of these to unlock your device. On the 2017 you have Touch ID. Now we come to the Magic Keyboard. Is this a reason to switch from the 2018 model to the 2020 model? No, it's not. It will be available for both devices, for the 2018 version and the 2020 version. Regarding the Apple Pencil, this was another big reason to switch from the 2017 to the new iPad Pro 2018. Because they released a new Apple Pencil which was optimized for the new iPad to have wireless charging, that you can just plug it on the side and everything. This was not possible here, so you had to get some special cases. I made a lot of videos about this, how you can attach the Apple Pencil 1 to the 2017 version. And for the iPad Pro, you got this handy thing that you can just stick it there. It will connect automatically, charge everything. It's really a nice thing. You get the double tap feature. So this was for a lot of people also the reason to upgrade. You no longer needed to stick it into the iPad to charge your Apple Pencil. So that was a big reason to upgrade. However, no change here. Again, you can use the Apple Pencil 2 on the new version of the 2020. So that's nice when you now have two different iPads. If you want to have a smaller one like here and you want to use only one Apple Pencil, it works now on both iPads. The same Apple Pencil, which was a shame that this didn't work between these two. So if you upgrade or if you get a new version, you can use your old Apple Pencil for this as well. However, is there a reason to upgrade? No, it's not. So display wise, we have exactly the same display as we had on the iPad Pro 2018. We have it here as well with the 120 Hz and everything. So that's the same liquid retina display. So that's also no reason to upgrade. So Apple really changed the pricing. That's something I realized already with the MacBook Pro 16-inch. The starting models, they are already a lot cheaper than they did the years before. And it's the same for the iPad Pro. If you compare how much the iPad Pro 2018 cost, it is cheaper now, I think around $100 or even more to get an iPad Pro. So if you now on the 2017, I think it's the best moment to switch now to the new iPad Pro. It is definitely worth the change. If you have a 2017 and you're looking for a new device that's faster and so on, you will get a big difference between these two devices. So obviously 2018 will no longer be available, so this will be the replacement. I'm happy with my iPad Pro 2018. We have the same form factors, we also have the same connection and everything. So if there are any keyboards coming out, any smart keyboards, any third-party devices and so on, the only thing we will have a problem with is the camera here, because obviously we need another spare. So my Sugu case won't fit onto these new devices, and buying all the accessories again just because I have a minor upgraded iPad Pro, I think that's just not worth it. And that's, my friends, is the reason why I sent the iPad Pro 2020 back. So let me know your opinion in the comments below. If you like this video, share it with your friends and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, because we will talk a lot more about all these, especially about the new upcoming iPad OS features like handwriting to text conversion directly in the text fields. That's something I'm really excited about. So if you want to know more about this, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And if you're one of my Paperless Movement Inner Circle members in the membership, I can't wait to discuss this in our forums. So I see you there, or we see us here next time on YouTube.